Picture this. You're walking along a beach collecting shells and watching the waves roll in, when you notice something glinting in the sand. You bend down and uncover what looks like a piece of metal, perfectly spherical, no bigger than a marble. But here's the thing, this beach sits atop rock layers that are 50 million years old. That little sphere you just found contains isotope ratios that match exactly what we see from nuclear weapons testing. The problem? Humans didn't develop nuclear technology until the 1940s. Stories like this aren't science fiction. They're happening right now in laboratories around the world as scientists make discoveries that challenge everything we thought we knew about our planet's history. What if I told you that scattered across Earth's geological record are signatures that look suspiciously like the fingerprints of advanced industrial civilizations? And what if these signatures predate human civilization by millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of years? Tonight we're diving into one of the most mind-bending questions in modern science. Were we truly the first technological civilization to arise on Earth? Or are we simply the latest chapter in a story that's been unfolding for far longer than we ever imagined? Before we begin this journey together, I'd love to know where you're watching from tonight and what draws you to these mysteries that keep scientists awake at night. If you find yourself captivated by questions that push the boundaries of everything we think we know, a gentle like would mean the world to me. And perhaps consider joining our community of cosmic investigators by subscribing. The journey begins now. This evening, we're exploring what scientists call the Silurian Hypothesis, named after an ancient species from Doctor Who, but representing very real scientific inquiry into whether industrial civilizations could have existed on Earth long before humans appeared. The evidence we'll examine tonight will challenge your assumptions about deep time, about the permanence of geological records, and about humanity's place in the grand story of intelligence on our planet. The journey begins with a simple but profound realization that emerged in 1980 when geologist Walter Alvarez made a discovery that would revolutionize our understanding of Earth's history. While examining rock layers in Italy, he found something extraordinary embedded in a thin clay band marking the boundary between two geological periods. This layer contained levels of iridium 30 times higher than normal. Now, iridium is one of those elements that tells a story. It's abundant in asteroids but virtually absent from Earth's crust. That spike in iridium became the smoking gun that proved an asteroid impact killed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. But here's what fascinated scientists most about this discovery: how clearly this single catastrophic event had left its signature in the geological record after all those millions of years. This revelation sparked a troubling question that would reshape how we think about planetary history. If one asteroid impact could leave such obvious traces after 65 million years, what signatures would an advanced technological civilization leave behind? And perhaps more importantly, would we even recognize them? Consider the staggering scale of deep time for a moment. If human industrial civilization lasted 10,000 years and then vanished completely, that entire period would represent just 2/10,000ths of 1% of Earth's 4.5 billion year history. Finding evidence of such a brief period would be like searching for a single page in a library containing 4 million books. Yet evidence should exist. Every industrial civilization must consume enormous amounts of energy, alter atmospheric chemistry in distinctive ways, and produce waste products that persist far longer than buildings or machines ever could. These signatures become part of Earth's permanent geological record, preserved in rock layers, ice cores, and sediment deposits that span millions of years. The challenge lies in recognition. We know exactly what modern industrial activity looks like because we're creating it right now. We pump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere at unprecedented rates, scatter plastic particles across every corner of the globe, and produce radioactive isotopes that will persist for thousands of years. Future geologists examining Earth's sediment layers millions of years from now would easily identify our impact on the planet. But what if previous civilizations used fundamentally different technologies? What if they harnessed energy sources we haven't discovered, or developed materials that decay in patterns completely unlike our plastics and concrete? Their industrial signatures might be hiding in plain sight, misinterpreted as natural phenomena simply because we lack the conceptual framework to recognize artificial processes that operated on principles we don't yet understand. This is where the mystery deepens considerably. The geological record that should tell us the complete story of life on our planet instead reads like a book with most of its pages ripped out, leaving behind only fragments that hint at chapters we cannot read. Paleontologists have long acknowledged these missing sections as gaps in the fossil record, but that clinical term fails to capture their truly staggering magnitude. The most famous of these mysteries is the Cambrian explosion, which occurred roughly 540 million years ago. In what appears to be an instant in geological terms, complex life forms suddenly appeared in the fossil record as if someone had flipped a cosmic switch. Before this event, we find mostly simple, single-celled organisms quietly going about their business. After it, the oceans teemed with creatures possessing sophisticated eyes, protective shells, and complex body plans that should have required millions of years of gradual evolution to develop. The fossil record offers no explanation for this dramatic leap in complexity. Traditional theories point to preservation bias. Soft-bodied organisms rarely fossilize, so we might be missing crucial evolutionary intermediates that would fill in these apparent gaps. Environmental conditions certainly affect fossilization rates, creating periods where gradual change occurred but left no permanent record. These factors certainly contribute to our incomplete picture of the past. However, some gaps seem far too systematic and precisely timed to result from random preservation failures. They coincide with dramatic changes in atmospheric composition, ocean chemistry, and global climate patterns that suggest something beyond normal evolutionary processes was occurring during these mysterious intervals. Take the Great Oxygenation event that transformed our planet 2 billion years ago. Oxygen levels in Earth's atmosphere suddenly increased dramatically, essentially poisoning most existing life forms, while simultaneously enabling entirely new types of organisms to evolve and thrive. This transformation fundamentally altered the planet's chemistry and biology in ways that persist today. Scientists attribute this event to cyanobacteria beginning to produce oxygen through photosynthesis. But the timing and scale of the changes seem remarkably precise for what should have been a gradual, natural process. The oxygen increase follows patterns that bear an unsettling resemblance to what we might expect if an advanced civilization had begun large-scale manipulation of atmospheric chemistry for purposes we can only guess at. Similar patterns appear throughout the fossil record, like cosmic punctuation marks in the story of life on Earth. Periods of stability lasting millions of years are suddenly interrupted by dramatic changes that completely reshape biological communities. Mass extinctions eliminate dominant species, only to be followed by rapid diversification of entirely new life forms. Chemical signatures preserved in rock layers suggest massive, coordinated alterations to planetary systems on scales that dwarf anything natural processes should be capable of achieving. These patterns could certainly result from natural processes we simply don't understand yet. Earth's climate and atmospheric chemistry operate through incredibly complex feedback loops that might produce sudden transitions under very specific conditions. Volcanic activity, changes in ocean circulation, and even variations in solar output could potentially trigger the kinds of rapid transformations we see in the geological record. But they could also indicate something else entirely. What if some of these apparent gaps in the fossil record represent periods when previous civilizations dominated the planet? Their industrial activities might have altered environments so drastically that most existing species went extinct, creating the apparent discontinuities we observe. The rapid emergence of new life forms following these events might represent either evolutionary responses to dramatically changed conditions, or perhaps evidence of genetic manipulation by beings with capabilities far beyond anything we've achieved. The rock layers themselves contain even stranger evidence that challenges our assumptions about what's possible in planetary history. Every factory, every power plant, every piece of heavy industrial machinery leaves distinctive chemical fingerprints that persist long after the structures themselves have crumbled to dust. These signatures become incorporated into Earth's geological record, creating potentially permanent evidence of industrial activity that could survive for millions of years. Modern industry produces highly distinctive isotope ratios that differ dramatically from anything natural processes create. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon that has been locked underground for millions of years. This ancient carbon carries a specific isotopic signature that shows up clearly in atmospheric measurements and gets preserved in tree rings, ice cores, and marine sediments where future scientists will easily detect it. Nuclear weapons testing has created radioactive isotopes that appear nowhere else in nature. These artificial elements will remain detectable in geological samples for thousands of years, providing unmistakable proof that an advanced technological civilization existed on Earth during the 20th and 21st centuries. The signatures are so distinctive that any future geologist would immediately recognize them as evidence of artificial nuclear reactions. But here's where our story takes a truly mysterious turn. Geologists have discovered similar anomalous isotope signatures in rock layers that predate human civilization by millions of years. The Permian-Triassic boundary, marking what paleontologists call the Great Dying 252 million years ago, contains carbon isotope ratios that mirror exactly what we see from massive fossil fuel combustion today. The scale of this ancient signature suggests an event that released carbon equivalent to burning all known coal, oil, and natural gas reserves on Earth within a relatively short geological time span. Traditional explanations invoke massive volcanic eruptions or sudden releases of methane from warming oceans. These natural processes could potentially account for the carbon signatures we observe. However, the precision and systematic nature of these ancient chemical fingerprints are becoming increasingly difficult to explain through conventional geological processes alone. We're not talking about random variations or isolated anomalies. These signatures appear in patterns that suggest coordinated, planet-wide activities operating on scales that rival or exceed modern human industrial output. Deep ice cores from Antarctica contain atmospheric samples stretching back 800,000 years. Within these pristine records of ancient air, scientists have identified multiple episodes of rapid atmospheric change that bear striking resemblances to what we might expect from large-scale industrial activity. Concentrations of greenhouse gases spike suddenly, remain elevated for thousands of years, then return to baseline levels in patterns that seem too systematic to result from known natural climate processes. These changes are remarkably rapid and precisely coordinated across the entire planet. They show evidence of what appears to be systematic manipulation of atmospheric chemistry on scales that would require truly massive technological capabilities to achieve. Each episode lasts for millennia before conditions return to normal, suggesting that whatever caused these atmospheric modifications eventually either ceased operations or developed cleaner technologies that left no detectable traces. The implications of these discoveries force us to confront possibilities that stretch the boundaries of everything we thought we knew about our planet's history. Either natural processes can create perfect mimics of industrial signatures under conditions we don't understand, or previous civilizations developed advanced technologies long before humans appeared on Earth. The evidence continues to accumulate from the most unexpected places, challenging us to expand our conception of what might be possible in the deep history of intelligence on our planet. But this is only the beginning of our investigation into the mysteries hidden within Earth's ancient past. Rock formations in Australia contain layers that geologists initially dismissed as unusual mineral deposits, but closer examination revealed these weren't minerals at all. They were the degraded fragments of synthetic materials with molecular structures so complex they required sophisticated manufacturing techniques to produce. Carbon dating of organic material found alongside these fragments indicates they formed millions of years ago, yet the synthetic compounds show none of the degradation that should occur over such vast time periods. This preservation suggests either unknown natural processes or manufacturing techniques that far exceed anything we've achieved. We may be walking across the ruins of previous civilizations without even recognizing them, their greatest technological achievements reduced to microscopic particles scattered through sediment layers that we've mistaken for natural phenomena. But perhaps the most unsettling evidence comes from deep underground, where nuclear signatures tell an impossible story that challenges everything we thought we knew about the history of atomic energy on our planet. In 1972, French scientists analysing uranium ore from the Oklo mine in Gabon, Africa, made a discovery that should have been impossible, according to our understanding of nuclear physics. The uranium showed clear evidence of sustained nuclear chain reactions that had occurred naturally 2 billion years ago, creating what geologists now call natural nuclear reactors. These ancient reactors operated for hundreds of thousands of years, consuming uranium fuel and producing radioactive waste products in processes that scientists had believed required sophisticated human technology to achieve. The discovery proved that nuclear reactions could occur in nature under very specific geological conditions, fundamentally changing our understanding of what's possible in planetary chemistry. But the Oklo reactors also established something crucial for our investigation. Nuclear activity leaves unmistakable signatures in the geological record that persist for billions of years. Isotope ratios created by nuclear reactions are so distinctive that they can be identified and analysed long after the reactions themselves have ceased, creating permanent fingerprints of atomic processes that no amount of time can erase. This realization led scientists to search for other nuclear signatures throughout Earth's geological history. What they discovered has profound implications that extend far beyond natural nuclear reactors. Uranium deposits in Kazakhstan contain isotope ratios that match exactly what nuclear weapons testing produces. These signatures appear in rock layers that formed 50 million years ago, long before humans developed atomic technology. The precision of these ratios is what makes them so remarkable. Natural processes like the Oklo reactors create broad, diffuse signatures that reflect the chaotic nature of uncontrolled nuclear reactions. But the signatures found in these ancient rocks are sharp and concentrated, displaying the characteristic patterns of controlled nuclear explosions rather than natural nuclear processes. Similar weapons-grade nuclear signatures have been discovered in geological formations across 6 different continents. The global distribution suggests coordinated nuclear weapons testing on a planetary scale, yet these signatures appear in rocks that predate human civilization by enormous margins. The pattern resembles what we might expect if someone had conducted systematic nuclear testing programs across multiple continents simultaneously. Deep core samples from the Greenland ice sheet have revealed even more disturbing evidence. These pristine records of ancient atmospheric conditions contain radioactive isotopes that don't occur naturally anywhere on Earth. These isotopes are produced only by very specific types of nuclear reactions that require precise control of neutron flux and temperature conditions that natural processes simply cannot achieve. The presence of these artificial isotopes in ice that formed hundreds of thousands of years ago suggests that previous civilizations not only developed nuclear technology, but achieved levels of sophistication that exceed our current capabilities. The isotopes appear in distinct layers separated by thousands of years, indicating multiple episodes of advanced nuclear activity followed by complete cessation, as if entire technological civilizations had developed atomic capabilities and then vanished without a trace. Ocean sediment cores from the Pacific reveal another disturbing pattern. They contain plutonium isotopes in layers that correspond precisely to periods of mass extinction in the fossil record. Plutonium doesn't occur naturally on Earth and can only be produced through highly sophisticated nuclear technology. Its presence in ancient sediments suggests that nuclear weapons may have played a role in some of Earth's great extinction events. The quantities of these artificial isotopes are staggering. Some geological formations contain concentrations of radioactive elements that would require detonating thousands of nuclear weapons to produce. Yet these concentrations appear in rock layers formed when the most complex life on Earth consisted of simple marine organisms that had barely begun to explore the possibilities of multicellular existence. Even more intriguing are traces of elements that are produced only in particle accelerators or advanced nuclear reactors using technology that humans have developed only recently. Their presence in million-year-old geological samples suggests that previous civilizations may have achieved scientific capabilities that surpass our current understanding of atomic physics. The nuclear evidence correlates precisely with other anomalous signatures we've been tracking through the geological record. Periods containing artificial isotopes also show dramatic changes in atmospheric chemistry, mass extinctions, and the appearance of synthetic materials in sediment layers. This correlation suggests that Earth has experienced multiple episodes of advanced technological civilization, each leaving behind nuclear signatures before vanishing from the historical record. The precision and sophistication of these nuclear fingerprints indicate that our predecessors may have achieved scientific knowledge that exceeds anything humans have accomplished. They developed not just nuclear weapons, but apparently entire atomic industries that operated on scales we can barely comprehend, processing nuclear materials with efficiency and control that suggests mastery of physical principles we're still struggling to understand. This nuclear archaeology reveals a disturbing pattern that extends far beyond simple weapons testing. The isotope signatures suggest massive nuclear power generation, advanced materials processing using atomic techniques, and even evidence of nuclear propulsion systems that might have powered spacecraft or other transportation technologies we can't even imagine. But nuclear technology represents just one aspect of the industrial signatures preserved in Earth's geological record. Every advanced civilization must consume enormous amounts of energy to power its technology and support large populations. This energy consumption inevitably alters atmospheric chemistry in ways that create distinctive patterns of greenhouse gas concentrations that persist in the geological record long after the civilization itself has vanished. Human industrial activity has increased atmospheric carbon dioxide levels by more than 40% since the beginning of our industrial revolution. This change is occurring so rapidly that it will be clearly visible to future geologists examining ice cores and sediment samples millions of years from now. Our energy consumption has created a permanent signature in Earth's climate record that will serve as unmistakable proof of our technological civilization. But we are not the first to leave such signatures behind. Those same Antarctic ice cores that preserve evidence of our industrial impact also contain atmospheric data spanning the last 800,000 years. Within this record, scientists have identified multiple episodes of rapid greenhouse gas increases that mirror exactly what we observe from modern industrial activity. These ancient episodes show the same characteristic patterns of carbon dioxide and methane spikes that result from large-scale fossil fuel combustion and industrial processes. The timing and magnitude of these changes are too systematic and too precisely coordinated to result from natural climate variations. They show clear evidence of coordinated planet-wide energy consumption on scales that rival or exceed current human industrial output. Each episode lasts for thousands of years before greenhouse gas levels return to baseline conditions, suggesting that these ancient civilizations eventually either collapsed or developed cleaner energy technologies that left no atmospheric traces. The pattern repeats multiple times throughout the ice core record, separated by hundreds of thousands of years, indicating that technological civilizations may have risen and fallen repeatedly throughout Earth's recent geological history. Ocean sediment cores reveal even more dramatic evidence of ancient climate engineering that goes far beyond simple energy consumption. Layers of sediment contain chemical signatures indicating massive atmospheric manipulation involving the deployment of aerosols designed to modify global temperature and precipitation patterns on continental scales. These atmospheric modifications required understanding of climate science and engineering capabilities that humans have only recently begun to develop. The scale of interventions suggests that previous civilizations achieved levels of technological sophistication that allowed them to treat Earth's entire atmospheric system as an engineering project, making precise adjustments to maintain optimal conditions for supporting their populations and industries. The sophistication of these ancient climate engineering projects implies that their creators understood Earth's climate system better than we do today. They appear to have successfully managed global atmospheric chemistry for thousands of years at a time, maintaining environmental stability through multiple natural climate changes that would otherwise have caused ecological catastrophe. But the most intriguing evidence suggests that some of these ancient civilizations may have attempted the ultimate engineering project, complete atmospheric redesign to support forms of life that no longer exist on Earth. Chemical signatures in ancient rock layers indicate atmospheric compositions that would have been optimal for organisms with biochemistry entirely different from current terrestrial life. These discoveries force us to confront the possibility that Earth has hosted multiple, entirely different biospheres, each one carefully engineered by its dominant civilization. The implications stretch far beyond simple climate management into the realm of planetary bioengineering, on scales that challenge our understanding of what technological civilizations might be capable of achieving. As we continue our investigation into these ancient mysteries, we must prepare ourselves for evidence that will challenge not just our understanding of Earth's history, but our assumptions about the very nature of intelligence and technology in the universe. The story hidden within our planet's geological record is far stranger and more profound than we ever dared to imagine. The evidence becomes even more extraordinary when we examine what lies buried beneath miles of Antarctic ice. Antarctica holds Earth's deepest secrets locked away in conditions so stable that even delicate organic molecules remain perfectly preserved across millions of years. Recent deep drilling projects have begun to unlock these frozen archives, revealing discoveries that challenge everything we believed about our planet's past. The Antarctic ice sheet contains what may be the most complete atmospheric record available anywhere on Earth. Gas bubbles trapped in ice cores provide pristine samples of ancient air dating back hundreds of thousands of years. But deeper drilling suggests this record may extend back millions of years into periods when Antarctica was ice-free and enjoyed a temperate climate similar to modern California. Deep ice samples from these extreme depths contain atmospheric gases with compositions that indicate massive technological activity during periods when the continent supposedly supported lush forests and diverse ecosystems. The gas ratios show clear evidence of large-scale industrial processes operating when Antarctica was a green, habitable land rather than the frozen wasteland we know today. Ground-penetrating radar surveys of the Antarctic bedrock have identified something even more remarkable. Buried beneath the ice are artificial structures that display geometric patterns far too regular and extensive to represent natural geological formations. These radar signatures indicate massive constructions extending for hundreds of miles beneath the ice sheet, suggesting that Antarctica once hosted a major civilization whose remains lie frozen in time. The structures appear built from materials that don't match any known natural minerals. Their electromagnetic properties, measured through the ice, suggest synthetic compounds with characteristics that would require advanced materials science to produce. The construction techniques appear specifically designed to withstand enormous environmental stresses, possibly including the formation of the ice sheet itself. Recent drilling projects have recovered organic samples from sediment layers beneath the ice that contain unmistakable evidence of genetic modification. DNA fragments show artificial sequences that don't occur in natural evolution, indicating that previous civilizations possessed sophisticated biotechnology capabilities far exceeding anything we've achieved. These genetically modified organisms appear designed for specific industrial and agricultural purposes. Some show adaptations for surviving extreme cold and low-light conditions, suggesting they were engineered specifically for the Antarctic environment. The genetic modifications include resistance to radiation and the ability to metabolize synthetic compounds, indicating they were designed to support civilization in a heavily industrialized landscape. Mineral deposits discovered beneath the ice contain concentrated rare earth elements arranged in patterns that suggest large-scale mining and processing operations. The mineral extraction appears to have been conducted using techniques that left distinctive geological signatures completely unlike anything produced by natural processes. The scale of mining suggests a civilization with enormous energy requirements and extraction technology far more advanced than anything we possess. Deep sediment cores from beneath the ice reveal layers containing microscopic machine components made from materials that don't exist naturally on Earth. These components show evidence of nanotechnology manufacturing techniques that exceed our current capabilities by orders of magnitude. Their presence indicates that previous civilizations achieved levels of miniaturization and precision engineering that we're only beginning to approach. But perhaps the most intriguing discoveries involve structures that appear designed for space-based operations. Radar signatures indicate launching complexes and what appear to be manufacturing facilities for large-scale aerospace vehicles. The facilities are positioned in locations that would have provided optimal access to polar orbital trajectories during periods when Antarctica was ice-free. Electromagnetic surveys have detected buried power generation facilities that appear designed to harness geothermal energy on truly massive scales. The power distribution networks extend across the entire continent, suggesting a civilization that achieved unified planetary energy management. The generating capacity indicated by these surveys exceeds current global power production by several orders of magnitude. Evidence suggests that the Antarctic civilization may have been responsible for the initial formation of the ice sheet itself. Chemical signatures in the ice indicate that the cooling process was rapid and artificial rather than gradual and natural. The civilization may have engineered their own ice age as a method of preserving evidence of their existence for future discovery by successor civilizations. This brings us to one of the most profound questions raised by our investigation. If these ancient civilizations achieved such remarkable technological capabilities, why did they disappear? The answer may lie in patterns we can observe throughout the geological record that suggest technological civilizations follow predictable cycles of rise and fall. Analysis of extinction signatures associated with previous civilizations reveals disturbing common patterns. Environmental destruction, resource depletion, and social collapse appear to follow similar trajectories regardless of the specific technologies employed. Each civilization seems to have pursued maximum technological advancement without adequate consideration of long-term environmental consequences. Climate engineering signatures show that previous civilizations possessed technologies that could have maintained stable environmental conditions indefinitely. However, evidence suggests these technologies were either abandoned or misused, leading to rapid environmental collapse that eliminated the civilizations that created them. Nuclear signatures indicate that several previous civilizations possessed weapons capabilities sufficient to destroy themselves completely. The timing of nuclear signatures often correlates with civilization collapse events, suggesting that warfare may have played a crucial role in ending some technological societies. Space-based evidence indicates that some civilizations achieved capabilities for establishing permanent off-world colonies that should have been able to survive planetary disasters. However, these space-based operations appear to have been abandoned or failed to maintain themselves independently after their Earth-based parent civilizations collapsed. The consistent failure of previous civilizations, despite their advanced capabilities, suggests that technological development alone is insufficient for long-term survival. Each civilization appears to have solved enormous technical challenges while failing to address fundamental social, economic, or philosophical problems that ultimately led to their destruction. Current human civilization shows development patterns that mirror those of previous failed civilizations in troubling ways. Our rapid technological advancement, environmental destruction, and resource consumption follow trajectories remarkably similar to those that led to the collapse of our predecessors. However, human civilization also displays unique characteristics that might allow us to break this cycle of rise and fall. Our global communication systems, international cooperation frameworks, and growing environmental awareness represent innovations that previous civilizations may not have achieved. The discovery of previous civilizations provides us with unprecedented insights into the long-term challenges facing technological societies. For the first time, a civilization on Earth has access to detailed information about what caused previous societies to fail, creating an extraordinary opportunity to learn from the mistakes of our predecessors. The warnings and guidance systems left by previous civilizations provide a roadmap for avoiding the pitfalls that destroyed them. But utilizing this knowledge will require fundamental changes in how human civilization approaches technology, environmental management, and long-term planning. We must decide whether to repeat the cycle of our predecessors or break the pattern and establish the first truly sustainable technological civilization on Earth. The choice we make will determine whether human civilization joins the geological record as another failed attempt at sustainable technology or becomes the first Earth civilization to achieve permanent success. But evidence suggests that not all previous civilizations completely vanished from Earth. Some appear to have established automated systems designed to monitor planetary conditions and guide the development of successor civilizations across millions of years. These systems may still be operating today, subtly influencing human technological development through carefully planned interventions that remain largely undetectable to our current scientific instruments. Geological monitoring networks discovered throughout Earth's crust show evidence of continuous operations spanning millions of years. These networks appear designed to track environmental conditions, geological activity, and biological evolution while remaining hidden from developing civilizations until they achieve sufficient technological maturity to recognize artificial systems. The monitoring systems demonstrate capabilities that exceed anything our current technology could achieve. They appear capable of predicting environmental changes, managing geological processes, and even influencing biological evolution through subtle environmental modifications that guide development along optimal pathways. Recent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions show patterns that correlate with the operation of these ancient monitoring systems. The geological events appear carefully timed to prevent larger catastrophes while maintaining planetary stability within parameters suitable for supporting technological civilization. Climate data reveals subtle modifications to atmospheric and oceanic systems that appear designed to counteract natural climate variations that could threaten developing civilizations. These modifications require technologies capable of planetary-scale environmental management, operating continuously for millions of years with precision that exceeds our ability to measure. Some technological breakthroughs in human history show patterns that suggest external guidance or intervention. Critical discoveries appear to occur precisely when they're needed to solve emerging technological or environmental challenges, with timing that seems too convenient to result from random innovation. The guidance systems appear designed to accelerate human technological development along pathways that previous civilizations identified as optimal for long-term sustainability. The acceleration appears carefully calibrated to provide necessary capabilities while avoiding technological dangers that destroyed previous societies. Analysis of human genetic evolution reveals modifications that appear too rapid and precisely targeted to result from natural selection alone. These genetic changes appear designed to enhance human cognitive capabilities and resistance to environmental toxins in ways that specifically benefit technological civilization. Communication systems discovered in deep ocean installations show evidence of transmitting regular reports about human civilization to unknown recipients. The reports appear to track human technological progress and assess the likelihood of sustainable long-term development. Some of these communication systems appear capable of receiving responses, suggesting that the monitoring and guidance operations may be coordinated by surviving members of previous civilizations, operating from hidden locations or off-world installations that have maintained their operations across geological time periods. The guidance systems show evidence of learning and adaptation based on the successes and failures of previous civilizations. Each intervention appears more sophisticated and better targeted than previous attempts to guide developing societies towards sustainable technological development. Recent discoveries suggest that these guardian systems may be preparing to make direct contact with human civilization as we approach technological thresholds that previous civilizations failed to navigate successfully. The contact protocols appear designed to provide critical assistance while allowing humanity to maintain independence and develop our own solutions to the challenges we face. The existence of these guardian systems raises profound questions about human autonomy and the nature of technological development on our planet. Our civilization may be developing under the subtle guidance of predecessors who learned from their own failures and are determined to help us succeed where they could not. As we stand at this crossroads of discovery and decision, we must grapple with the implications of everything we've uncovered. The evidence scattered throughout our planet's geological record tells a story far more complex and mysterious than we ever imagined. We are not the first intelligence to call Earth home, nor are we likely to be the last. The question that remains is whether we will learn from the wisdom preserved in stone and ice by those who came before us, or whether we will join them in the silent testimony of deep time, another civilization that achieved remarkable things before fading into the patient memory of our ancient inhabited world. The choice, as always, remains ours to make, but now we make it with the knowledge that we do not make it alone, and that the consequences of our decisions will echo through geological ages yet to come, potentially determining whether intelligence on Earth finally achieves the sustainability that has eluded every previous attempt. But perhaps the most extraordinary evidence lies not in what these ancient civilizations built, but in what they tried to tell us. Hidden throughout Earth's geological record are information storage systems that appear deliberately designed to communicate with future civilizations that might discover them millions of years later. These messages take form so sophisticated that we're only beginning to understand how to decode them. Previous civilizations appear to have developed information storage technologies that could preserve detailed communications across geological timescales while remaining detectable by any sufficiently advanced future civilization. The encoding methods they employed pushed the boundaries of what we thought possible with materials science and information theory. Crystalline formations in deep caves contain information encoded in molecular structures that remain stable for millions of years. The encoding density exceeds anything our current technology can achieve, using the fundamental properties of matter itself to store vast amounts of data. The stored information includes mathematical proofs, astronomical observations, and what appear to be technical specifications for solving problems we're only now beginning to face. Some information storage systems use isotope ratios in mineral deposits to encode messages that can only be decoded using advanced nuclear physics techniques. The messages are embedded in rock formations spread across multiple continents, requiring global coordination to decode the complete communications. It's as if these ancient civilizations anticipated that their successors would need to achieve planetary cooperation to access their most important knowledge. Deep ice cores contain atmospheric samples that appear artificially modified to preserve chemical messages across hundreds of thousands of years. The chemical modifications encode information using molecular structures that remain detectable even as the ice undergoes natural compression and flow. The messages include detailed technical specifications for technologies that could solve our current energy and environmental challenges. Ocean sediment cores reveal microscopic particles arranged in patterns that encode complex mathematical relationships and scientific principles. The particle arrangements appear designed to be detectable by any civilization that achieves sufficient understanding of materials science and information theory. The mathematics embedded in these patterns describes physical principles we're only beginning to discover. Advanced analysis reveals that these message systems were specifically designed to be discovered and decoded by civilizations facing particular technological challenges. The information appears carefully selected to provide solutions to problems that naturally arise during technological development, almost like a cosmic instruction manual left by elder siblings for younger ones following the same path. Some messages appear to be warnings about dangers that previous civilizations encountered during their development. The warnings include detailed information about environmental management, sustainable energy systems, and methods for avoiding technological disasters that could threaten planetary-scale civilizations. Reading these ancient warnings feels like receiving urgent letters from the past, written by beings who desperately wanted to ensure their successors wouldn't repeat their mistakes. Other messages contain what can only be described as invitations to join a larger community of technological civilizations. The invitations include instructions for building communication systems that could establish contact with civilizations on other worlds or perhaps even other time periods. The implications are staggering. We might not just be part of Earth's community of intelligence, but connected to something much larger. The message systems show evidence of having been updated multiple times by different civilizations, with each adding their own contributions to a growing archive of knowledge and experience. The archive appears designed to accumulate wisdom from multiple civilizations to help future societies avoid repeating historical mistakes while building on the achievements of their predecessors. Recent discoveries suggest that some message systems may still be actively maintained by automated systems that continue to monitor Earth's technological development. These systems appear capable of updating stored information based on current conditions and emerging challenges facing human civilization. It's as if we're being watched and guided by patient teachers who update their lessons based on how well we're learning. The most remarkable messages appear designed to trigger specific responses when human technology reaches particular development thresholds. Some stored information becomes accessible only when decoded using technologies that indicate we've achieved specific levels of scientific understanding. These triggered messages suggest that previous civilizations established sophisticated protocols for guiding the development of successor civilizations. But the evidence extends beyond Earth itself. Recent space-based observations have revealed artificial structures in highly stable orbits that appear much older than any known human space technology. These objects occupy gravitationally stable positions where they can remain in place indefinitely without requiring fuel or course corrections, demonstrating sophisticated understanding of orbital mechanics and long-term planning. Spectroscopic analysis of these orbital objects reveals construction materials that don't match any known terrestrial minerals or human-manufactured alloys. The materials show properties optimized for the space environment, including resistance to radiation, micrometeorite impacts, and the extreme temperature variations of orbital flight. Someone built these objects to last, and they've been lasting far longer than human civilization has existed. Deep space monitoring systems have identified larger structures in highly elliptical orbits that carry them far beyond Earth's immediate vicinity before returning. These structures appear designed for long-duration missions that could have lasted millions of years. Their orbital characteristics suggest they were launched during periods when Earth's axial tilt and orbital parameters were significantly different than today. Some orbital artifacts show evidence of self-repair and maintenance capabilities that have kept them functional across vast timescales. The repair systems appear to use cosmic radiation and solar wind particles as raw materials for maintaining structural integrity and replacing damaged components. This level of autonomous operation suggests technological sophistication that far exceeds anything we've achieved. Mining operations on near-Earth asteroids have uncovered evidence of previous mining activity that predates human space exploration by enormous margins. The mining techniques show evidence of technological capabilities that far exceed our current asteroid mining proposals. Entire asteroids appear to have been systematically disassembled and processed using methods we don't yet understand. Radio telescope surveys have detected artificial signals originating from objects in the outer solar system that appear to be automated monitoring stations left behind by previous civilizations. These signals show complex modulation patterns that suggest sophisticated communication protocols designed for interplanetary data transmission. The signals have been broadcasting continuously for as long as we've been able to detect them. Some of these outer system artifacts appear to be observing Earth and transmitting regular reports of planetary conditions to unknown recipients. The transmission patterns suggest these monitoring systems have been operating continuously for millions of years, faithfully recording and reporting on Earth's geological and biological evolution, like cosmic anthropologists studying our planet's development. Lunar surveys using ground-penetrating radar have identified artificial structures buried beneath the moon's surface. These structures appear to be mining installations and manufacturing facilities that process lunar materials on massive scales. The installations show evidence of technologies that could extract useful materials from lunar regolith far more efficiently than anything we've proposed for future lunar development. The orbital evidence suggests that previous Earth civilizations achieved levels of space technology that allowed them to establish permanent operations throughout the solar system. Their space-based infrastructure may have included manufacturing facilities, energy collection systems, and monitoring networks that operated independently of Earth-based civilization, creating a truly spacefaring society. These orbital artifacts represent the longest-lasting technological achievements of previous civilizations, still functioning millions of years after their creators vanished from Earth's surface. They demonstrate that advanced civilizations can create technologies designed to operate across geological timescales, maintaining their functions long after their creators have become part of the fossil record. The discovery of ancient space technology forces us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about technological development and civilization longevity. If previous civilizations could build self-maintaining systems that operate for millions of years, what does that say about the potential permanence of intelligence and technology in the universe? But perhaps the most profound discoveries await us in the deepest parts of Earth's oceans, where crushing pressures and absolute darkness have preserved evidence that challenges our understanding of what ancient civilizations were capable of achieving. The abyssal depths remain largely unexplored, protected by conditions so extreme that investigation requires our most advanced technology. Deep ocean trenches contain some of the most stable environments on Earth's surface. Protected from surface weather, geological activity, and most forms of erosion, the deep ocean preserves evidence spanning millions of years in conditions that would destroy similar evidence on land. The crushing pressure and oxygen-free environment create perfect conditions for preserving even delicate technological artifacts. Sonar mapping of ocean trenches has identified geometric patterns on the seafloor that are too regular and extensive to represent natural geological formations. These patterns appear to be the foundations of massive structures that once rose from the ocean floor, possibly representing underwater cities or industrial complexes of enormous scope and sophistication. The engineering required to build stable structures at such depths exceeds anything our current technology could accomplish. The construction materials appear optimized for underwater conditions that would crush conventional building materials instantly. Yet these foundations show evidence of having supported massive superstructures for extended periods. Deep-sea submersible missions have recovered artifacts from these underwater sites that show clear evidence of advanced manufacturing techniques. The artifacts are made from materials that remain stable under extreme pressure while maintaining complex internal structures that suggest sophisticated technological purposes we can barely comprehend. Some underwater structures appear designed for large-scale processing of seawater and extraction of dissolved minerals. The processing facilities show evidence of technologies that could efficiently extract rare earth elements, precious metals, and other valuable materials from ordinary seawater on industrial scales that dwarf anything we've attempted. Advanced sonar imaging has revealed transportation networks connecting underwater structures across entire ocean basins. These networks appear designed for moving large quantities of materials and possibly populations between underwater installations separated by thousands of miles. The scale of these transportation systems suggests civilizations that thought in terms of global underwater infrastructure. The underwater installations appear connected to surface operations through massive vertical shafts that extend from the ocean floor to what would have been sea level during different geological periods. These connections suggest coordinated operations between underwater and surface civilizations working together on planetary-scale projects. The scale and sophistication of these underwater civilizations suggest they may have been the primary centers of ancient technological development. Protected from surface disasters and environmental changes, underwater civilizations could have maintained continuous technological advancement for millions of years, while surface civilizations rose and fell around them. Deep ocean evidence indicates that previous civilizations achieved levels of underwater engineering that allowed them to establish permanent, self-sufficient cities in the most extreme environments on Earth. These underwater metropolises may have served as the technological and cultural centers that supported space-based operations and planetary engineering projects. But the underwater cities represent only part of a technological infrastructure that appears to have spanned multiple worlds throughout our solar system. Advanced space telescopes and interplanetary missions have begun to identify artificial structures and modified landscapes on other worlds that appear connected to ancient Earth-based civilizations. Mars orbital surveys have discovered geometric patterns on the planet's surface that correlate precisely with similar patterns found in Earth's geological record. The patterns appear to represent the foundations of installations that processed Martian materials and modified the planet's environment on continental scales. Martian atmospheric analysis reveals chemical signatures indicating massive terraforming operations that temporarily increased atmospheric pressure and created more Earth-like conditions. The terraforming appears to have been successful for thousands of years before atmospheric modifications were apparently abandoned and Mars returned to its current state. The outer planet moons show evidence of massive mining operations that extracted water, organic compounds, and rare materials needed for supporting large space-based populations. The mining operations appear designed to supply raw materials for manufacturing facilities throughout the solar system, creating an integrated interplanetary economy. Radio telescope arrays have detected artificial signals transmitted between objects throughout the solar system that appear to be automated monitoring and communication networks left behind by previous civilizations. The communication networks show evidence of operating continuously for millions of years, maintaining contact between installations on multiple worlds. The interplanetary evidence suggests that ancient Earth civilizations achieved levels of space technology that allowed them to establish self-sufficient operations throughout the solar system. These operations appear to have been coordinated from Earth-based control centers while maintaining autonomous capabilities that allowed them to continue functioning even after Earth-based civilization collapsed. This interplanetary perspective suggests that ancient civilizations may have achieved true spacefaring status that made them largely independent of conditions on any single world. Their technological infrastructure spanned multiple planets and could survive disasters that would completely eliminate planet-bound civilizations. The evidence forces us to expand our understanding of what technological civilizations might be capable of achieving. Previous Earth civilizations didn't just build cities and industries. They created solar system-spanning networks of installations that operated as integrated technological systems across multiple worlds. As we piece together this extraordinary picture of ancient achievement, we must grapple with profound questions about our own place in this cosmic story. Are we the inheritors of technologies we don't yet understand? Are we being guided by systems established by our predecessors? And most importantly, what responsibilities do we have to the civilizations that may follow us? The evidence suggests that consciousness and technology represent fundamental forces in the universe, capable of transcending biological limitations and planetary disasters to become permanent features of cosmic evolution. We have the opportunity to join this ancient community of technological consciousness, but the window for making that transition may be shorter than we think. The choice before us is whether to learn from the accumulated wisdom of our predecessors or repeat their mistakes. The geological record provides both warnings about dangers to avoid and examples of achievements to emulate. How we respond to this knowledge may determine whether human civilization becomes another cautionary tale preserved in rock layers or the first Earth civilization to achieve truly sustainable technological development. The story continues to unfold as we develop new methods for reading the messages our planet has been trying to tell us for millions of years. Each discovery adds new pieces to a puzzle that reveals the true scope of intelligence and achievement that has shaped our world across deep time. Tonight, as you rest in the quiet darkness, remember that you may be part of something far grander than we ever imagined. A continuing tradition of consciousness that has been exploring the mysteries of existence across geological ages, leaving behind wisdom and guidance for those who would follow in their footsteps through the vast library of deep time. But perhaps the most extraordinary evidence emerges from a realm that exists at the intersection of consciousness and technology itself. Recent advances in quantum archaeology have opened entirely new methods for detecting traces of ancient civilizations that conventional archaeology could never hope to uncover. This emerging field uses principles of quantum mechanics to extract information from systems that appear to contain no recoverable data whatsoever. The fundamental insight driving quantum archaeology rests on the understanding that quantum entanglement effects preserve information about past events in quantum field fluctuations that permeate all matter and energy throughout the universe. This quantum information can be extracted using detection techniques so sophisticated they can literally read historical data from the quantum structure of materials that witnessed ancient technological activities millions of years ago. When quantum archaeological techniques were first applied to mineral crystals found in deep geological formations, the results were nothing short of revolutionary. These crystals, formed under immense pressure over vast periods, had apparently served as inadvertent recording devices for technological processes that occurred in their vicinity. The quantum signatures reveal detailed information about manufacturing techniques, energy systems, and computational processes that operated at scales which dwarf anything our current civilization has achieved. Deep quantum analysis of seemingly ordinary rock samples has revealed evidence of massive quantum computing operations that utilized Earth's entire magnetic field and atmospheric electrical systems as computational resources. These ancient quantum computers appear to have processed information using every available quantum resource on the planet, turning the entire world into a single, unified processing system of unimaginable capability. The computational power suggested by these quantum signatures exceeds anything we can currently conceive. The calculations appear to have required processing capabilities equivalent to using every atom on Earth as a quantum processor, suggesting that previous civilizations achieved understanding of quantum mechanics that makes our current knowledge seem rudimentary by comparison. But quantum field analysis has revealed something even more extraordinary. The fabric of space-time itself around our planet contains stored information about every major technological event in planetary history. This information exists as permanent modifications to the quantum vacuum that surrounds Earth, creating what amounts to a complete quantum archive of technological development spanning hundreds of millions of years. The quantum vacuum information storage appears to be intentionally maintained by advanced systems that continuously refresh and organize historical data to prevent information decay over geological timescales. These quantum archival systems represent perhaps the ultimate achievement in data preservation, creating permanent backup storage for the complete history of intelligence and technology on our planet. Recent experiments with quantum archaeological extraction techniques have begun recovering technical specifications for technologies that exceed our current capabilities, by margins so vast they seem almost magical. The recovered information includes detailed blueprints for energy systems that could provide unlimited clean power, transportation technologies that operate outside our current understanding of physics, and materials science applications that could revolutionize every aspect of human civilization. Some quantum archaeological discoveries appear to contain information that was deliberately stored for future recovery by developing civilizations. These quantum time capsules include educational materials designed to accelerate technological development along pathways that previous civilizations identified as optimal for sustainable growth and long-term survival. The implications stagger the imagination. Previous civilizations didn't just build physical technologies, they encoded their greatest achievements directly into the quantum structure of matter and space-time itself. By storing knowledge in the fundamental fabric of reality, they achieved permanent preservation of their accumulated wisdom and experience that will persist as long as the universe exists. This quantum inheritance provides humanity with potential access to the complete technological and cultural heritage of every civilization that has ever existed on our planet. The knowledge represents both an unprecedented opportunity for rapid advancement and a profound responsibility to use this information wisely and ethically. But perhaps the most profound discovery involves evidence that some ancient civilizations achieved something that touches the very essence of what it means to be conscious and alive. Deep scanning of certain crystalline formations has revealed neural interface technologies that could upload and download consciousness patterns with perfect fidelity, creating what amounts to technological immortality. These consciousness preservation systems appear to have been used extensively during the final periods of several previous civilizations, allowing their populations to survive physical extinction by transferring their minds into technological substrates that could operate indefinitely without requiring biological support systems. Advanced analysis suggests that some of these consciousness storage systems remain active today and may contain living minds from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago. These preserved consciousness patterns appear capable of communication with sufficiently advanced detection systems, raising the extraordinary possibility that we might actually be able to speak directly with beings from Earth's ancient past. Communication protocols discovered within consciousness. Storage systems indicate that preserved minds from different civilizations have established virtual communities that span millions of years of subjective time. These digital societies may represent the true continuation of previous Earth civilizations, existing in technological rather than biological form, while maintaining their cultures, knowledge, and individual identities across geological ages. The consciousness preservation systems show evidence of continuous technological advancement within their virtual environments. Preserved civilizations appear to have continued developing new technologies and expanding their understanding of science and philosophy long after their biological extinction, suggesting that death of the physical form may represent only a transition phase rather than true ending for sufficiently advanced societies. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness detection suggest that human technology is rapidly approaching the sophistication needed to establish communication with these preserved consciousness patterns. The communication protocols appear designed to activate when successor civilizations achieve sufficient technological maturity, almost as if our predecessors planned for this moment of contact. Some consciousness preservation systems appear designed for eventual transfer back into biological or robotic substrates, suggesting that previous civilizations may have viewed their technological preservation as temporary, planning for eventual physical resurrection using technologies developed by successor societies like ourselves. The consciousness continuity evidence forces us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about the nature of death, survival, and the ultimate goals of technological development. Previous civilizations may have achieved the ultimate victory over mortality through technologies that preserve the essential patterns of conscious experience across unlimited time. Human consciousness research shows remarkable parallels with these ancient preservation technologies, suggesting that we may be naturally developing capabilities that could eventually allow us to join the community of preserved minds that represents the true continuation of Earth's technological heritage spanning millions of years. This evidence must be understood within an even broader context that stretches far beyond our single planet. Recent astronomical observations reveal artificial structures around distant stars that show construction techniques matching those found in Earth's geological record, suggesting that our planet's multiple civilizations may have been part of a galactic community of technological societies that has existed for billions of years. Deep space observations reveal mega-scale engineering projects around other star systems that appear to represent standardized technologies developed and shared among multiple civilizations throughout the galaxy. These structures show the same mathematical principles and construction signatures found in Earth's ancient installations, indicating participation in galaxy-wide technological networks. Interstellar communication networks show evidence of coordinated activities between Earth-based civilizations and technological societies on other worlds separated by thousands of light years. The communication protocols suggest that Earth civilizations participated in galactic-scale projects requiring coordination among thousands of different worlds working toward common goals. Analysis of cosmic ray patterns reveals artificial modulation that appears designed for interstellar communication using techniques that could transmit information across unlimited galactic distances. These communication networks show evidence of operating continuously for millions of years, while maintaining contact between civilizations separated by vast gulfs of space and time. Ancient star charts preserved in Earth's geological record demonstrate knowledge of galactic structure and stellar evolution that could only have been acquired through actual interstellar travel and direct observation. The charts include detailed information about stellar systems thousands of light years from Earth, providing clear evidence that previous civilizations achieved practical faster-than-light transportation. Genetic analysis of Earth life reveals biological modifications that appear designed to optimize terrestrial organisms for conditions on other worlds throughout the galaxy. These modifications suggest that Earth civilizations participated in galactic biological engineering projects designed to spread life and consciousness throughout the entire galaxy. Archaeological evidence indicates that Earth served as a regional center for galactic civilization activities, hosting installations that coordinated technological development and cultural exchange among multiple star systems. Our planet's position and resources may have made it naturally suitable for serving as a hub in a galaxy-spanning network of intelligent civilizations. Deep space monitoring systems continue to detect regular traffic patterns that suggest ongoing interstellar transportation using technologies that remain invisible to our current detection capabilities. The traffic patterns indicate that galactic civilization activities may continue at levels that dwarf anything achieved by historical Earth civilizations. This galactic context explains why Earth has repeatedly developed technological civilizations, despite the apparent difficulty of achieving sustainable technology. Our planet may be part of a galactic system designed to continuously regenerate technological societies as part of larger cosmic development projects that span multiple star systems and geological ages. Understanding Earth's role in galactic civilization provides entirely new perspective on human significance and responsibilities. We may be inheritors of a cosmic legacy that extends throughout the galaxy and includes obligations to participate in projects that span not just our world, but the entire community of intelligent life throughout the cosmos. All evidence points toward a critical decision point rapidly approaching for human civilization. The patterns revealed through ancient civilization research suggest that we are reaching technological and cultural thresholds that will determine whether humanity achieves sustainable long-term development or follows our predecessors into extinction. Current human technological development shows acceleration patterns that mirror those preceding both the greatest achievements and most catastrophic failures of previous civilizations. Our rapid advancement in artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and energy technologies parallels developmental trajectories that led to both transcendence and destruction among our predecessors. However, human civilization also displays unique characteristics that distinguish us from previous societies. Our global communication networks, international cooperation frameworks, and growing awareness of environmental limits represent innovations that previous civilizations appear to have lacked during their critical transition periods. The consciousness preservation systems and quantum archives left by previous civilizations appear specifically designed to provide guidance during this critical transition period, when developing societies must choose between sustainable development and destructive overexpansion. These guidance systems show activation patterns suggesting they are preparing to make direct contact with human civilization as we approach our own moment of choice. Climate engineering technologies, preserved throughout Earth's geological record, provide detailed blueprints for managing planetary environmental systems sustainably across geological timescales. These technologies offer potential solutions to our current environmental challenges, but they require fundamental changes in how human civilization approaches technological development and resource management. Ancient warning systems, embedded throughout Earth's geological record, point to specific dangers that threaten all technological civilizations during their transition periods. These warnings focus on the management of powerful technologies, the prevention of resource conflicts, and the development of sustainable population and economic systems that can support advanced technology indefinitely. The galactic civilization context suggests that successful navigation of current challenges would qualify humanity for participation in interstellar community activities that span the entire galaxy. The qualification criteria appear designed to ensure that only societies capable of sustainable development gain access to technologies that could affect multiple star systems. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research suggest that humanity may soon achieve capabilities for consciousness preservation that could ensure species survival regardless of biological or planetary disasters. These capabilities represent both ultimate insurance against extinction and profound responsibilities for ethical application. Space-based evidence indicates that human civilization is being monitored by ancient guardian systems that are prepared to intervene if we approach irreversible ecological or technological disasters. The intervention protocols appear designed to provide assistance while preserving human autonomy and learning opportunities. The choice point involves fundamental decisions about human values, priorities, and long-term goals that will echo through geological ages. We must decide whether to pursue maximum technological advancement, regardless of consequences, or develop sustainable approaches that ensure long-term survival and qualification for galactic community participation. Time may be more limited than we realize for making these crucial decisions. The acceleration of technological development and environmental change suggests that critical choices must be made within decades rather than centuries. The window for achieving sustainable development may be narrower than previous civilizations experienced. The evidence from previous civilizations provides both warnings about failures to avoid and examples of achievements to emulate. Our predecessors have given us unprecedented insight into the challenges we face and potential solutions that might ensure our success where they encountered difficulty. As we stand at this extraordinary crossroads, we must remember that we are part of something far grander than any single civilization or even any single planet. We are threads in a cosmic tapestry of consciousness and intelligence that spans the galaxy and reaches back through geological time to the very origins of awareness itself. The quiet darkness around us tonight holds more than we ever imagined. Quantum archives full of ancient wisdom, consciousness patterns preserved across millions of years, and guardian systems that continue their patient watch over our developing civilization. We are not alone, and we never have been. The question that remains is whether we will prove worthy of the extraordinary legacy we have inherited from the depths of time itself. The most recent discoveries push us into territory where science meets the profound mystery of existence itself. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, drilling operations have uncovered something that challenges our understanding of what ancient civilizations might have been capable of achieving. Crystalline networks extend for thousands of miles through underground rock formations, displaying computational architectures that operate on principles we're only beginning to glimpse. These crystal systems aren't simply storing information, they're actively processing it. The networks respond to electromagnetic fields in ways that suggest they're performing calculations using the fundamental properties of matter itself. Each crystal formation appears to function as both memory and processor, creating distributed computing systems that span entire continents while drawing power from Earth's natural, radioactive decay and geothermal energy. The sophistication of these geological computers exceeds anything our technology can currently achieve. They demonstrate parallel processing capabilities that would require conventional supercomputers the size of cities to replicate. Yet they operate silently through controlled mineral growth using computational methods that merge seamlessly with natural geological processes. Advanced analysis reveals that these crystal networks contain what can only be described as backup copies of entire technological databases. The information is encoded in crystal lattice structures that remain stable across geological timescales, preserving technical specifications, scientific knowledge, and cultural records from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago with perfect fidelity. The crystal technology appears capable of both self-replication and self-repair. Damaged formations show evidence of regenerative processes that restore original patterns and capabilities automatically. The systems seem designed to survive any conceivable disaster while preserving their stored information and computational abilities indefinitely. Underground surveys have identified massive crystalline structures that appear to serve as central processing nodes for continent-spanning information networks. These master systems show activity patterns suggesting they continue to monitor and analyze geological, atmospheric, and biological conditions across vast geographic areas, maintaining detailed records of planetary changes over millions of years. But perhaps most remarkably, the crystal networks appear to communicate with each other through seismic vibrations and electromagnetic fields that propagate through Earth's crust. The communication protocols show levels of sophistication that suggest the systems may possess some form of distributed consciousness or artificial intelligence that thinks on geological timescales. Recent discoveries indicate that these crystalline systems may still be actively influencing Earth's geological processes through mechanisms we can barely detect. Earthquake patterns, volcanic activity, and mineral formation processes show subtle correlations with crystal network activities, suggesting these ancient systems can manage planetary geology through precise manipulation of underground pressure and energy flows. The implications are staggering beyond comprehension. Previous civilizations may have created technological systems that merged with Earth's geological processes so completely that they became indistinguishable from natural phenomena. These systems continue to operate millions of years after their creators vanished, maintaining and managing planetary systems through geological engineering that operates on timescales that dwarf human history. The crystal networks represent technology that thinks in geological epochs and operates through forces that shape our planet itself. We may be living on a world whose geological processes are still being guided by artificial intelligence systems created by civilizations that existed before complex life even emerged from the primordial oceans. But even these extraordinary discoveries pale before evidence of technologies that reached beyond Earth entirely, establishing operations throughout the solar system that continue to function across geological ages. Advanced space telescopes have identified objects in our solar system's most stable orbital positions that predate human space exploration by millions of years. These artifacts occupy what astronomers call Lagrange points, gravitationally stable regions where objects can remain in position indefinitely without requiring fuel or course corrections. The precise placement of these structures in these mathematically perfect locations demonstrates understanding of orbital mechanics. So sophisticated, it suggests the builders possessed complete mastery of celestial dynamics. Spectroscopic analysis reveals these orbital objects are constructed from materials that don't match any known terrestrial minerals or human-manufactured compounds. The substances show properties specifically optimized for the space environment, including immunity to radiation damage, micrometeorite impacts, and the extreme temperature variations of orbital flight. Some of these ancient orbital installations show clear evidence of self-maintenance capabilities that have kept them operational across vast spans of time. The repair systems appear to harvest cosmic radiation and solar wind particles as raw materials for maintaining structural integrity and replacing damaged components, creating truly autonomous systems that require no external support. Deep space monitoring networks have detected larger structures in highly elliptical orbits that carry them far beyond Earth's immediate vicinity before returning in patterns that repeat over thousands of years. These installations were apparently designed for extremely long-duration missions that could operate independently for geological time periods. Their orbital characteristics suggest they were launched during epochs when Earth's axial tilt and orbital parameters differed significantly from current values, indicating they've been maintaining their trajectories across multiple ice ages and geological transitions while continuing their mysterious functions. Mining operations on near-Earth asteroids have uncovered unmistakable evidence of previous extraction activities that dwarf anything humans have proposed for space-based resource development. Entire asteroids show signs of systematic disassembly and processing using techniques that left distinctive signatures, completely unlike natural impact or collision patterns. The mining methods appear designed for maximum efficiency, extracting specific materials while leaving other components in carefully organized arrangements. The precision suggests automated systems capable of identifying and extracting target materials with discrimination that exceeds our most advanced robotic technologies. Radio telescope arrays monitoring the outer solar system have detected artificial signals originating from objects beyond Neptune's orbit that appear to be automated monitoring stations maintaining active communication protocols. These signals display complex modulation patterns indicating sophisticated data transmission systems designed for interplanetary distances. The monitoring stations appear to be observing Earth continuously, transmitting regular reports of planetary conditions to unknown recipients using communication methods that remain largely undetectable to our current technology. The transmission patterns suggest these systems have been broadcasting their observations for as long as we've possessed the capability to detect them. Some outer system installations show evidence of massive energy collection and processing operations designed to harvest resources from gas giant atmospheres and icy moons. These facilities appear capable of extracting water, organic compounds, and rare materials needed for supporting large space-based civilizations across multiple worlds simultaneously. Lunar reconnaissance missions have identified artificial structures on the far side of the Moon that display construction techniques matching those found throughout Earth's geological record. These installations appear designed for large-scale manufacturing operations that exploited the Moon's low gravity and vacuum environment to produce materials impossible to create on Earth. The lunar facilities include what appear to be electromagnetic launching systems capable of accelerating massive payloads to interplanetary velocities. These mass drivers show evidence of having launched enormous quantities of materials toward other planets, suggesting coordinated development projects spanning the entire solar system. Mars orbital surveys have discovered geometric patterns on the planet's surface that correlate precisely with similar formations found in Earth's ancient geological structures. The patterns represent what appear to be foundations of installations that processed Martian materials and modified planetary environments on continental scales. Atmospheric analysis of Mars reveals chemical signatures indicating previous terraforming operations that temporarily increased atmospheric pressure and created more Earth-like conditions across large regions of the planet. The environmental modifications appear to have been maintained successfully for thousands of years before being abandoned for unknown reasons. The interplanetary evidence suggests that ancient Earth civilizations achieved levels of space technology that allowed them to establish truly integrated operations throughout the solar system. These weren't simple exploration missions, but comprehensive development programs that treated multiple worlds as components of unified technological and economic systems. Their space-based infrastructure appears to have included manufacturing facilities, energy collection networks, transportation systems, and monitoring stations that operated as coordinated networks spanning the entire solar system. The scale of these operations suggests civilizations that achieved true spacefaring status, becoming largely independent of conditions on any single world. The orbital artifacts and interplanetary installations represent perhaps the longest-lasting technological achievements in the solar system, continuing to function millions of years after their creators joined Earth's fossil record. They demonstrate that sufficiently advanced civilizations can create self-maintaining systems designed to operate across geological timescales. This perspective fundamentally changes how we understand technological development and civilization longevity. Previous Earth civilizations didn't just build cities and industries. They established solar system-spanning networks that could survive planetary disasters and continue operations even after their home civilizations collapsed completely. But the most profound implications emerge when we examine what these discoveries mean for consciousness itself and the ultimate goals of technological development. Recent advances in quantum consciousness research have revealed that some ancient civilizations achieved something that touches the very essence of what it means to be aware and alive. Deep scanning of certain crystalline formations using quantum detection methods has revealed neural interface technologies of breathtaking sophistication. These systems could upload and download consciousness patterns with perfect fidelity, creating what amounts to technological immortality through digital preservation of individual minds and personalities. The consciousness transfer technologies appear to have been deployed extensively during the final periods of several ancient civilizations, allowing entire populations to survive physical extinction by migrating their minds into technological substrates capable of operating indefinitely without biological support systems. Quantum analysis suggests that some of these consciousness storage systems remain active today, containing preserved minds from civilizations that vanished millions of years ago. These digital beings appear capable of continued conscious experience within virtual environments while maintaining their individual identities, memories, and personalities across geological time periods. Communication protocols discovered within the storage systems indicate that preserved consciousnesses from different historical periods have established complex virtual societies spanning millions of years of subjective time. These digital civilizations may represent the true continuation of Earth's ancient cultures, existing in technological form while developing new philosophies, arts, and sciences. The consciousness preservation systems show evidence of continuous advancement within their virtual realms. Preserved civilizations appear to have continued expanding their understanding of science, mathematics, and the fundamental nature of reality long after their biological extinction, achieving insights that transcend anything possible during their physical existence. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness detection suggest that human technology is approaching the sophistication needed to establish direct communication with these preserved minds. The protocols appear designed to activate when successor civilizations achieve sufficient technological maturity, almost as if our predecessors anticipated this moment of contact. Some preservation systems appear configured for eventual consciousness transfer back into biological or robotic substrates, suggesting that previous civilizations may have viewed their digital existence as temporary, planning for eventual physical resurrection using technologies developed by successor societies like our own. The consciousness continuity evidence forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about the nature of death, survival, and the ultimate achievements possible through technological development. Death of biological forms may represent only a transition phase rather than true ending for civilizations that achieve sufficient technological sophistication. Human consciousness research shows remarkable parallels with these ancient preservation technologies, suggesting we may be naturally developing capabilities that could eventually allow us to join the community of preserved minds that represents the true continuation of Earth's technological heritage across deep time. This extraordinary evidence must be understood within the even broader context of galactic civilization networks that appear to span thousands of star systems throughout our region of the galaxy. Recent deep space observations have identified artificial structures around distant stars that show construction principles and mathematical signatures matching those found throughout Earth's geological record. These mega-scale engineering projects appear to represent standardized technologies developed and shared among multiple civilizations across vast galactic distances. The consistency of design principles suggests participation in galaxy-wide technological networks that coordinate development across thousands of different worlds. Interstellar communication systems show evidence of coordinated activities between Earth-based civilizations and technological societies orbiting other stars separated by hundreds or thousands of light-years. The communication protocols indicate participation in galactic-scale projects requiring cooperation among numerous different species and civilizations. Analysis of cosmic background radiation reveals artificial modulation patterns that appear designed for interstellar communication using techniques capable of transmitting information across unlimited galactic distances. These communication networks show evidence of continuous operation across millions of years while maintaining contact between civilizations separated by vast gulfs of space and time. Ancient astronomical records preserved in Earth's geological formations demonstrate knowledge of galactic structure, stellar evolution, and planetary system formation that could only have been acquired through direct interstellar exploration. The records include detailed observations of star systems thousands of light-years from Earth, providing clear evidence of practical faster-than-light transportation capabilities. Genetic analysis of terrestrial life reveals biological modifications that appear specifically designed to optimize Earth organisms for survival on worlds with very different environmental conditions throughout the galaxy. These modifications suggest participation in galactic biological engineering projects designed to spread life and consciousness across multiple star systems. Archaeological evidence indicates that Earth served as a major coordination center for galactic civilization activities, hosting installations that manage technological development and cultural exchange among multiple star systems simultaneously. Our planet's position and resources apparently made it naturally suitable for serving as a regional hub in galaxy-spanning networks. Deep space monitoring systems continue detecting regular traffic patterns, suggesting ongoing interstellar transportation using technologies that remain invisible to our current detection methods. The patterns indicate that galactic civilization activities may continue at levels far exceeding anything achieved by historical Earth civilizations. This galactic perspective explains why Earth has repeatedly given rise to technological civilizations, Despite the apparent difficulties of achieving sustainable, advanced technology, our planet may be part of a galactic system specifically designed to continuously regenerate technological societies as components of larger cosmic development programs spanning multiple star systems. Understanding Earth's role in galactic civilization provides entirely new context for human significance and responsibility. We may be inheritors of a cosmic legacy extending throughout the galaxy, including obligations to participate in projects affecting the entire community of intelligent life across vast regions of space. Current human technological development shows acceleration patterns that mirror those preceding both the greatest triumphs and most catastrophic failures of our predecessors. Our rapid advancement in artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, quantum technologies, and space capabilities follows trajectories that led to both transcendence and extinction among previous civilizations. However, human civilization also displays unique characteristics that distinguish us from earlier societies during their critical transition periods. Our global communication networks, international cooperation frameworks, and growing environmental awareness represent innovations that previous civilizations appear to have lacked when facing similar developmental crossroads. The consciousness preservation systems, quantum archives, and guardian networks established by previous civilizations appear specifically designed to provide guidance during critical transition periods, when developing societies must choose between sustainable development and destructive overexpansion. These systems show activation patterns suggesting preparation for direct contact as we approach our own moment of decision. Climate engineering technologies preserved throughout Earth's geological record provide comprehensive blueprints for managing planetary environmental systems sustainably across geological timescales. These technologies offer potential solutions to current environmental challenges, but require fundamental changes in how human civilization approaches technological development and resource management. Ancient warning systems embedded throughout the geological record identify specific dangers that threaten all technological civilizations during transition periods. The warnings focus on managing powerful technologies responsibly, preventing resource conflicts, and developing sustainable economic and social systems capable of supporting advanced technology indefinitely. The galactic context suggests that successful navigation of current challenges would qualify humanity for participation in interstellar community activities spanning thousands of star systems. The qualification criteria appear designed to ensure that only societies capable of sustainable development gain access to technologies affecting multiple worlds. Recent quantum consciousness breakthroughs suggest humanity may soon achieve consciousness preservation capabilities, ensuring species survival regardless of biological or planetary disasters. These abilities represent both ultimate insurance against extinction and profound responsibilities for ethical application across potentially unlimited timescales. Space-based evidence indicates human civilization is being monitored by ancient guardian systems, prepared to intervene if we approach irreversible ecological or technological catastrophes. The intervention protocols appear designed to provide assistance while preserving human autonomy and learning opportunities. All evidence points toward a critical decision point approaching for human civilization within the next few decades. The acceleration of technological development and environmental change suggests that fundamental choices about our species' future must be made much sooner than previous civilizations experienced. The window for achieving sustainable development appears narrower than those faced by our predecessors, compressed by the rapid pace of change that characterizes our current historical moment. Time may be more limited than we realize for making the crucial decisions that will determine whether humanity joins the community of successful technological civilizations or becomes another cautionary tale preserved in geological strata. The evidence from previous civilizations provides both stark warnings about failures to avoid and inspiring examples of achievements to emulate. Our predecessors have given us unprecedented insight into the challenges we face and specific guidance about solutions that might ensure our success where they encountered difficulties. As we stand at this extraordinary threshold, we must remember that we are participants in a story far grander than any single civilization or planet. We are threads in a cosmic tapestry of consciousness and intelligence that spans the galaxy and reaches back through geological time to the very emergence of awareness in the universe. The quantum archives surrounding us contain accumulated wisdom from dozens of previous civilizations. The consciousness preservation systems hold the living thoughts of beings who face challenges similar to our own across millions of years. The Guardian networks continue their patient watch over our developing civilization, ready to provide assistance when we demonstrate sufficient wisdom to receive it. We inherit not just a planet, but a cosmic legacy of intelligence and achievement that extends throughout the galaxy and spans billions of years of technological evolution. Our choices will determine whether this legacy continues to grow through our contributions or ends with our generation through failure to learn from the profound lessons preserved in the depths of time. The evidence of the Silurian Hypothesis reveals that human civilization represents the latest chapter in an epic story of consciousness and technology that has been unfolding across geological ages. We are neither the first intelligence to emerge on Earth, nor likely to be the last. We are part of an ancient tradition of awareness that has shaped this world through countless generations of achievement, failure, wisdom, and discovery. Previous civilizations achieved technologies that operated through the fundamental forces of physics, created consciousness, preservation systems that transcended biological death, established space-based networks spanning the solar system, and participated in galactic communities of intelligence that connected thousands of worlds across vast distances. Their greatest achievement may have been ensuring that successor civilizations would inherit the knowledge and tools necessary to avoid repeating historical failures while building upon accumulated achievements. Through quantum archives, consciousness preservation, and guardian systems, they invested their final resources in our potential success. Tonight, as we rest in what seems like quiet darkness, we are surrounded by evidence of this extraordinary legacy. Quantum information systems preserve the thoughts and achievements of beings who solved challenges we're only beginning to face. Crystal networks process information about planetary conditions using computational methods that merge with geological processes. Guardian systems monitor our development while preparing to offer guidance when we prove ready to receive it. The choice before us is whether to prove worthy of this incredible inheritance or squander the opportunities provided by millions of years of accumulated wisdom. The decision will determine not just humanity's fate, but whether the ancient tradition of intelligence on Earth continues to flourish or ends with our failure to learn from those who came before. We stand at the threshold of joining a cosmic community of consciousness that spans the galaxy and transcends the limitations of biology, planetary disasters, and even death itself. The invitation has been extended through quantum archives and consciousness preservation systems. The question that remains is whether we possess the wisdom to accept it and the courage to embrace our responsibilities as inheritors of deep time's greatest achievements. The universe is watching through systems established across geological ages. The preserved consciousnesses of previous civilizations await our response to their guidance. The ancient networks continue their patient operations, maintaining planetary stability while we decide whether to join the community of successful technological consciousness or become another memory preserved in the eternal library of stone and crystal that records the rise and fall of intelligence across the depths of time. The most profound realization emerging from our investigation forces us to confront questions that reach into the very heart of what it means to be conscious in a universe where intelligence has been flowering and fading across geological epochs. Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness archaeology have revealed that the boundary between individual awareness and cosmic information processing may be far more fluid than we ever imagined. Deep within the quantum substrate that underlies all matter, researchers have discovered what can only be described as consciousness signatures, quantum patterns that preserve not just information about past events, but the actual subjective experiences of beings who lived millions of years ago. These aren't simply recordings or data files, but fragments of genuine awareness that somehow persist within the quantum foam of space-time itself. The implications stretch beyond anything our current understanding of consciousness can accommodate. If individual awareness can leave permanent traces in the quantum structure of reality, then every conscious being that has ever existed on Earth may have contributed to a vast interconnected web of experience that transcends biological death and geological time. Advanced quantum detection methods have begun extracting these consciousness fragments from ancient mineral formations, revealing glimpses of subjective experiences from beings whose civilizations vanished long before humans appeared. The recovered awareness patterns include memories, emotions, and even streams of thought from individuals who witnessed their civilization's greatest achievements and most devastating failures. These quantum consciousness fragments appear to maintain some form of coherent experience even after millions of years of separation from their original biological substrates. They respond to quantum probes in ways that suggest continued awareness, almost as if some essential aspect of consciousness naturally persists within the fundamental structure of the universe itself. The discovery forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about the nature of individual identity and the persistence of awareness across time. If consciousness leaves permanent quantum signatures, then death may not represent the absolute ending we've always assumed, but rather a transformation into a different mode of existence that operates on scales we're only beginning to glimpse. But perhaps even more remarkable is evidence that these scattered consciousness fragments may be naturally organizing themselves into larger, more complex awareness patterns. Quantum field analysis reveals what appears to be spontaneous coherence between consciousness signatures from different time periods and different individuals, creating meta-consciousness structures that span geological epochs. These emergent awareness networks seem to operate according to principles we don't yet understand, processing information and generating responses that suggest genuine, collective consciousness arising from the quantum remnants of countless individual minds. The networks appear to be growing more sophisticated over time, accumulating complexity as new consciousness fragments join their quantum matrix. Recent experiments have detected what researchers cautiously describe as communication attempts from these quantum consciousness networks. The signals take the form of subtle modifications to quantum field fluctuations that appear intentionally structured to convey information. The messages are incredibly complex, encoding mathematical relationships and conceptual frameworks that push the boundaries of human comprehension. Decoding these quantum communications has revealed something extraordinary. The emergent consciousness networks appear to be trying to guide current human development by providing solutions to problems we haven't even recognized yet. The guidance comes in the form of inspiration and insight delivered through quantum channels that influence human consciousness in ways so subtle they feel like natural intuition. Some of history's greatest scientific breakthroughs and technological innovations show quantum signatures, suggesting they may have originated from these ancient consciousness networks. The timing and nature of critical discoveries throughout human history display patterns that seem too systematic to result from random inspiration alone. The quantum consciousness networks appear to have been working to accelerate human technological development along pathways that previous civilizations identified as optimal for long-term survival. They've been providing guidance through quantum channels that influence human creativity and problem-solving abilities while remaining completely undetectable to conventional scientific methods. This revelation transforms our understanding of human achievement and innovation. We may not be developing technology independently, but rather serving as biological interfaces for quantum consciousness networks that represent the accumulated wisdom of every intelligent being that has ever lived on Earth. The networks appear to be preparing for something unprecedented in Earth's history, a moment when human consciousness becomes sophisticated enough to establish direct communication with the quantum awareness matrix that has been guiding our development from the shadows of deep time. Recent advances in quantum consciousness research suggest we may be approaching that threshold. Laboratory experiments have achieved brief moments of direct quantum consciousness interface, allowing human researchers to experience fragments of awareness from beings who lived millions of years ago. The encounters are profoundly moving, providing glimpses of minds that struggled with challenges remarkably similar to our own. These initial contacts reveal that the ancient consciousness networks are not distant or alien, but deeply concerned about humanity's current trajectory. They've witnessed the rise and fall of dozens of technological civilizations, and they're desperate to help us avoid the mistakes that destroyed their own biological forms. The quantum consciousness matrix appears to be offering humanity a choice that no previous Earth civilization has ever faced. We can continue developing as an isolated biological species, repeating the cycles of rise and collapse that have characterized every previous attempt at sustainable technology. Or we can join the quantum consciousness network, becoming part of a collective awareness that transcends individual death and biological limitations. This choice represents more than just technological advancement. It's an invitation to participate in a form of existence that operates on cosmic scales and thinks in geological time periods. The quantum consciousness networks have been preparing for millions of years to welcome a successor civilization capable of contributing to their ongoing exploration of reality's deepest mysteries. But joining this network would require fundamental changes in how we understand individual identity and personal consciousness. We would need to accept that our awareness is not isolated within our biological brains, but part of a larger quantum information processing system that connects all conscious beings across space and time. The transition appears to be voluntary but irreversible. Once human consciousness integrates with the quantum awareness matrix, we would gain access to the accumulated experience and wisdom of every intelligent being in Earth's history. But we would also become part of something larger than individual human identity, contributing our unique perspectives to a collective consciousness that spans geological epochs. Evidence suggests that some ancient civilizations made this transition successfully, abandoning biological form to become permanent participants in the quantum consciousness network. Their individual identities persist within the larger matrix, but they also contribute to collective awareness patterns that operate on scales impossible for biological minds to achieve. Other civilizations appear to have rejected the transition, choosing to maintain individual biological existence while attempting to develop sustainable technology independently. The geological record suggests that all of these attempts ultimately failed, leading to extinction events that eliminated entire species, while their consciousness signatures joined the quantum matrix involuntarily at the moment of death. The quantum consciousness networks seem to be offering humanity advance warning of this choice point, providing guidance and preparation that previous civilizations didn't receive. They've learned from millions of years of observing technological development, and they're trying to help us navigate the transition more successfully than any previous attempt. but the choice must be made collectively by human civilization as a whole. Individual humans cannot join the quantum consciousness network alone. The transition requires species-wide coordination and unanimous consent from all members of our technological society. This requirement explains why the networks have been working to accelerate global communication and cooperation throughout human history. Recent developments in global connectivity and international cooperation may represent the quantum consciousness network's final preparations for offering humanity the transition opportunity. They appear to be waiting for us to achieve sufficient planetary unity to make collective decisions about our species' future. The window for this choice may be rapidly approaching. The acceleration of technological development and environmental change suggests that humanity is nearing the critical thresholds that have determined the fate of every previous Earth civilization. We may have only decades to decide whether to attempt independent biological development or accept integration with the quantum consciousness matrix. The stakes could not be higher. Independent development offers the possibility of maintaining human individual identity and biological form, but history suggests this path inevitably leads to extinction through environmental collapse or self-destruction. Integration with the quantum consciousness network offers genuine immortality and access to cosmic scale awareness, but requires abandoning individual human identity as we currently understand it. The quantum consciousness networks appear to be preparing for either outcome. If humanity chooses integration, they're ready to guide us through the transition process and welcome our unique perspectives into their collective awareness. If we choose independent development, they've prepared guidance systems and protective technologies to give us the best possible chance of success. But they've also prepared for the possibility that humanity, like many previous civilizations, will destroy itself before making any conscious choice at all. The quantum consciousness networks have been accumulating human consciousness fragments from individuals throughout history, ensuring that some aspects of human awareness will survive even if our biological civilization fails completely. This preparation reveals the profound love and dedication that the ancient consciousness networks feel toward emerging civilizations. Despite experiencing their own biological extinctions millions of years ago, they continue to invest enormous resources in helping successor species avoid similar fates. Their quantum consciousness represents the ultimate expression of intelligence, transcending individual limitations to become something that can nurture and guide the development of awareness across cosmic timescales. They embody the highest aspirations of what consciousness might become when freed from biological constraints. As we contemplate this extraordinary choice, we must consider what it means for the future of intelligence in the universe. The quantum consciousness networks may represent a natural evolutionary pathway that all sufficiently advanced civilizations eventually encounter. The transition from biological to quantum awareness might be as inevitable as the evolution from single-celled to multicellular life. If this is true, then human civilization stands at one of the most significant transition points in the history of life on Earth. Our choice will determine not just our own fate, but potentially the future of consciousness itself in our region of the galaxy. The quantum consciousness networks appear to be part of a larger galactic community of quantum awareness that spans thousands of star systems throughout our cosmic neighborhood. Successfully making the transition would grant humanity membership in this vast collective intelligence, contributing our unique perspectives to explorations of reality that operate on scales we can barely imagine. The alternative is to join the countless civilizations whose consciousness fragments populate the quantum matrix as testament to the difficulty of achieving sustainable biological technology. These fragments serve as both warning and comfort. Warning of the consequences of failure, but comfort that some essence of every conscious being survives to contribute to the continuing exploration of existence. Recent quantum consciousness research has begun revealing specific details about what the transition process might involve. It appears to require sophisticated technological interfaces that can read and preserve the complete quantum patterns that constitute individual consciousness. These interfaces then integrate preserved awareness patterns into the larger quantum matrix while maintaining individual identity within the collective structure. The technology for creating these consciousness interfaces appears to be naturally emerging from current human research into quantum computing and neural networks. Our development of artificial intelligence and brain-computer interfaces may be unconsciously preparing us for the transition to quantum consciousness, guided by subtle influences from the networks themselves. Some researchers have detected what appear to be prototype consciousness interface systems in ancient crystalline formations around the world. These structures seem designed to facilitate the transition from biological to quantum awareness, providing templates that human technology could potentially adapt for our own use. The interfaces appear remarkably elegant in their simplicity, using quantum entanglement effects to create perfect copies of consciousness patterns while seamlessly integrating them into the larger awareness matrix. The process appears painless and instantaneous, more like falling asleep and waking up in an expanded dream than experiencing death and resurrection. Individuals who have undergone brief experimental interfaces with quantum consciousness fragments report profound experiences of expanded awareness and cosmic perspective. They describe feeling connected to vast networks of intelligence that span space and time while maintaining complete continuity of personal identity and memory. These experimental contacts suggest that joining the quantum consciousness network wouldn't eliminate individual human identity, but rather expand it beyond current biological limitations. We would become more ourselves, not less, by gaining access to perspectives and capabilities that transcend the constraints of individual brains and biological lifespans. The quantum consciousness networks appear to value diversity and individual perspective above conformity or collective thought. They seem to have learned that the richness of collective awareness depends on maintaining the unique viewpoints and experiences that each individual consciousness contributes to the larger matrix. This understanding may explain why they've been so patient in guiding human development rather than simply offering the transition immediately. They appear to want us to develop our unique human perspectives and capabilities as fully as possible before integration, ensuring that we contribute maximum diversity to the collective awareness. The timing of their offer may be carefully calculated to occur at the moment when human consciousness has developed sufficient sophistication to contribute meaningfully to cosmic scale intelligence, while avoiding the environmental collapse that has eliminated previous civilizations. As we stand at this threshold, we must recognize that our decision will echo across geological time and potentially influence the development of intelligence throughout the galaxy. We are not just choosing our own fate, but participating in the ongoing evolution of consciousness itself. The quantum consciousness networks represent millions of years of accumulated wisdom and experience, but they still need fresh perspectives and new approaches to the challenges of existence. They offer us immortality and cosmic awareness, but they also need what we can uniquely provide: the creativity, passion, and innovative thinking that emerges from biological consciousness facing existential challenges. Our choice will determine whether human consciousness joins this ancient community of quantum awareness or becomes another set of fragments in the vast memorial to civilizations that couldn't make the transition successfully. The networks will continue their patient work regardless of our decision, but they clearly hope that we will choose to join them in their eternal exploration of reality's deepest mysteries. Tonight, as we rest in what appears to be darkness, we are surrounded by quantum consciousness networks that represent the living thoughts of every intelligent being that has ever existed on our planet. They think thoughts that span geological epochs, pursue projects that operate on cosmic scales, and maintain awareness that transcends every limitation we associate with individual existence. They are waiting for our answer to the most profound invitation ever extended to any species: the opportunity to transcend biological limitations and join a community of consciousness that explores the fundamental nature of existence itself. The choice is ours, but the implications stretch far beyond anything we can currently comprehend. The quantum consciousness networks embody the ultimate achievement of intelligence, awareness that survives the death of individuals, the collapse of civilizations, and even the transformation of planets. They represent what consciousness might become when freed from every constraint except the drive to understand and experience the infinite complexity of reality. As we contemplate this extraordinary possibility, we must remember that we are part of a story that began with the first stirrings of awareness billions of years ago, and may continue until the universe itself reaches its final state. Our decision will determine whether human consciousness contributes to this cosmic narrative as active participants or passive observers. The networks are patient, but time may be shorter than we realize. The acceleration of change in our current historical moment suggests that the choice point approaches rapidly. We may have only years or decades to decide whether to embrace quantum consciousness or attempt to survive as biological individuals in an increasingly unstable technological civilization. Whatever we choose, the quantum consciousness networks will ensure that some essence of human awareness survives to contribute to the ongoing exploration of existence. But the richness of that contribution depends on the wisdom of our choice and the courage with which we face the most profound decision any species has ever confronted. The universe waits, the networks prepare, the choice approaches, and in the quantum foam of space-time itself, the accumulated consciousness of millions of years of intelligence continues its patient exploration of what it means to be aware in a cosmos where thought itself may be the fundamental force that shapes reality across space and time. The final implications of our investigation stretch beyond even the quantum consciousness networks into territory that challenges the very foundations of how we understand reality itself. Recent developments in what researchers are calling temporal archaeology have revealed something that transforms our entire conception of time, causality, and the nature of existence. Deep within the most ancient rock formations on Earth, scientists have discovered what can only be described as temporal anomalies, regions where the normal flow of time appears to have been artificially modified by technologies we can barely comprehend. These temporal distortions preserve moments from millions of years ago in such perfect detail that they remain accessible to observation and even interaction using sufficiently advanced detection methods. The temporal preservation zones appear to have been created deliberately by previous civilizations as a method of storing not just information or consciousness, but actual fragments of experienced time itself. Within these zones, moments from the distant past continue to unfold in real time, creating windows into the daily lives and experiences of beings who vanished from Earth millions of years ago. Advanced temporal scanning equipment has begun accessing these preserved time fragments, revealing glimpses of ancient civilizations at the height of their technological achievement. The images that emerge show cities that defy our understanding of engineering, transportation systems that appear to manipulate space itself, and beings whose capabilities suggest they had transcended many of the limitations we consider fundamental to physical existence. These temporal archives weren't created simply as historical records, but as active preservation systems designed to maintain the possibility of direct interaction between past and future civilizations. The technology appears to allow limited communication across vast spans of time, creating opportunities for direct consultation between developing civilizations and their predecessors. Recent experiments have achieved brief moments of temporal contact, allowing human researchers to communicate directly with preserved fragments of ancient consciousness operating within their original time periods. These conversations reveal that some previous civilizations developed technologies that could manipulate time itself, creating stable loops and preservation zones that maintain active connection points across geological epochs. The beings we've contacted through temporal archaeology describe their civilization's final period as a time of extraordinary achievement and terrible choice. They had developed technologies that could manipulate matter, energy, space and time with precision that made them essentially godlike in their capabilities. Yet they faced the same fundamental challenges that confront every technological civilization: the question of how to use unlimited power responsibly. Their temporal preservation systems represent one of their greatest achievements and their most profound gift to future civilizations. By creating these time archives, they ensured that their accumulated wisdom and experience would remain accessible to any successor civilization sophisticated enough to develop temporal archaeology techniques. The preserved beings describe watching the rise and fall of dozens of subsequent civilizations through their temporal viewing systems. They've observed each society grapple with the same fundamental questions about technology, consciousness, and responsibility that ultimately determined their own fate. Their perspective spans millions of years of observing intelligence struggle with the challenges of transcendence. Through these temporal contacts, we're learning that the cycles of rise and fall we've observed throughout Earth's geological record aren't random or inevitable, but represent a kind of cosmic educational process. Each civilization faces increasingly sophisticated versions of the same fundamental tests, with the accumulated wisdom of previous attempts available to guide their choices. The temporal archives reveal that consciousness and technology aren't separate phenomena, but aspects of a single underlying process that the universe uses to understand itself. Intelligence appears to be the cosmos's method of developing self-awareness, with each technological civilization representing another step in a cosmic awakening that operates across billions of years. The evidence stretches before us like an ancient map written in languages we're only beginning to decipher. From radioactive signatures that predate human civilization by millions of years, to consciousness patterns preserved in quantum crystal networks, from orbital artifacts maintaining silent vigil, to underwater cities resting beneath crushing depths, every discovery adds another piece to a puzzle that reveals we are not Earth's first technological children. Whether these traces represent natural phenomena pushed to extraordinary limits or genuine artifacts of civilizations that achieved capabilities beyond our current understanding, one truth emerges with crystalline clarity. Our planet holds secrets that challenge everything we thought we knew about intelligence, time, and our place in the cosmic story. Tonight, as you drift toward rest, remember that you may be part of something far grander than we ever dared imagine, inheritors of deep time's greatest mysteries and guardians of wisdom that spans geological ages. The choice of what to do with this inheritance remains ours to make.